going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today I'm going to be updating my E300 Osprey firmware as well as swapping over from Kaspa over to kylacoin, because on these FPGAs it's looking like Kaspa is no longer the coin to mine and there's more profitable options out there now. So right now, as you can see, everything is running fine. I actually just rebooted it. I did have an FPGA down. Remember, this is the E300. It has three. This is the VU33P version. 3 FPGAs within it. One of them went down a couple hours prior. 2 of them were down. It's not a voltage issue here because it ran just fine on everything else as well as this before. But it has been kind of unstable, and there's a new firmware that is actually available, and this is supposed to make it more stable again. So I'm going to do the update here for this firmware, and then we're going to set this right back up. Now, I did just save all my settings I currently have. You can see the pool. I am using retro mic pool, my address, my worker name, my core voltage or core speed of 700, and my voltage of 650 that I'm going to be using here. So first thing we got to do is simply download it. So you can see it's done through a Google Drive. Normally, I would say do not click on any Google Drives or any type of missed links, but this is the official Osprey website. Don't be tricked. Get it from here only, nowhere else. That way you know it's safe. It's pinned in here. That Discord has not been hacked. I am confirming with you guys this is legit, so don't have to worry. But again, it's an official source. All right, so once you do get that downloaded, simply go to the update firmware button. As you can see, I don't have any auto update or anything enabled here. We're gonna choose our file and then hit the download. Now, once this is fully tested and everything, it will be officially announced and then released, and then it'll just simply auto update once you have this little box here check marked and stuff. So it'll do that automatically, but right now you do have to manually install this firmware. So now we just simply click on the file we want, hit the open button, confirm that's the file name, upgrade firmware. That is it. Now, I probably should have stopped the miner first. Usually I do, but it was mining away. So I guess we'll see what happens here, but it should still update just fine. But, you know, as a precaution, you should simply stop your miner first so that everything's at a nice idle state before updating the firmware. All right, so I went upstairs, went and had a drink and stuff. It's been about 5 minutes or so. So just like last time, I'm going to hit the refresh button and it should be done. Whoa, everything is totally different. So I'm guessing it worked because everything just changed here. I'm going to go into update firmware. So yeah, we can see we are now at N2.0.1, and we were at, well, you just saw it on the previous screen. I wrote it down here. I can't remember what the version number was. Anyway, you saw that the version did change. So we are updated here, and the dashboard is looking different. So the firmware update is complete. So I don't see any type of dark mode going through anything, but maybe you guys know where it is and I just can't find it because I'm usually blind. But hey, we'll see. Anyway, it looks like we have a maximum temperature for shutdown. I don't think this was on the other firmware, so that's a nice option here. Here we have our voltage control, so I'm just going to bring this back up. What was I at again? So I was running 650, so I'm simply going to run 650 there. And as for, we don't need any memory, I believe, for kylacoin, so we're just going to set that to 1000, apply change voltage. Yes, it'll take about 20 seconds. So we're gonna, it looks like it kept the settings, actually. If we go into this right here, it's actually looking like it's still at 650 on the voltage. So I'm just going to hit F5. Looks like I didn't have to change anything, so that's awesome. I'm going to go into the miner now. We're still on K1. Okay, everything's saved, so I actually didn't have to do anything. Updating your firmware kept all my exact same settings. I am going to double check everything just to make sure. It's always good to double and triple check. So here we can see core clock 700, 700, the name Rabid E300, Rabid E300, and then KC1Q, KC1Q, and then ERU8, ERU8. And then I can see we got retro mic here. Awesome. So everything just transferred through. So, you know, it's always good practice. Save everything so you don't have to relook everything up or something like I just did. But everything's looking good. So I'm simply going to hit the start button. We're going to wait a few minutes here. It's going to be doing its thing. Then I'm going to go to the miner logs. It's starting up all the FPGAs. So that's awesome. Once I start seeing some percentages here, we will wait until we actually begin mining. So there we are. It's loading up, I guess, and this would be the DAG, I guess. It's loading the DAG, loading the bit stream, however you want to put it. But let's just come back once we hit 100%. We should be up and mining on the latest firmware. All right, so we are up and mining. Here's the pool. I'm at a lifetime balance of 0.15. That's not too bad. That's about 15% to one whole kylacoin. If you're unfamiliar, the block reward is only 0.005. So, you know, it is a nice leap to actually get up to 1, 2, 3 kylacoins and so on because of that. But we are up and mining. Everything is looking good. If I come back into the miner, look at the miner logs, we got hash rate happening. But a few other things just came to my attention. It looks like the miner itself through K1 has some more updates that you can do strictly to the miner from their Discord. So I'm going to have to find all the information on that. This is strictly about updating the firmware of your E300. But, you know, for a future video, we might look at some of these other options. But here you can see just had this happen, been working and talking to Flying Panda and K1 some. K1 is also working on more hash reactor updates, the official name of the miner, which is running Kyla. The latest version should be within his Discord for download. And here you can see K1 actually answered him and said substantial changes have been made since. So there are updates happening for the miners, which you can actually get separately as well, which I guess we'll have to look at in another video on how to do that. So now let's talk a little bit about profitability and stuff. So this just dropped right when I hit it. This is not the correct hash rate, I don't think. We're actually sitting around 1.7, 1.8 petahash on the network or so. And kylacoin has been gaining hash rate over the past week or so since all them ASICs have been slowly hitting Kaspa there, because that profitability has been dropping quite a bit. All right, as for some profitability based on some current network conditions, we can see Kaspa, Ironfish, and kylacoin. Kaspa is currently hanging out at about $3.38 now before any type of power. Ironfish is at about $2.05, and kylacoin is hanging out at $4.82. So we see it is the most profitable out of these three coins currently. Now there are some exchanges saying kylacoin's around 160. I'm just going with tax bit on the amount that you can quickly sell about 2 or 3 coins market right now and, you know, liquidate it fast. So I'm going with $100. But if we were actually able to get some at that $165 mark or whatever it was saying there, 169 or something, I think it is, that's about $7.95 depending on the exchange. Now that is safe trade. I can't really seem to get into it without a VPS. I don't use a VPS or VPN for that matter. I mean, it says it's not available in Canada for me, which is weird, but you know, it might just depend. It doesn't like Alberta, while other places in Canada it does work. But it is at 165 over there. But again, due to liquidity issues and so on, I'm going with $100, and it is the most profitable out of the three coins. Now, on top of everything I just went through, here's kind of the pump that Coin Market Cap is saying here. So we're sitting around $144 currently right now at Coin Market Cap. It looks like they just hit a hard fork at block height 685,800, and with numerous security updates, our network is rocking at 2 terahash. Thanks for the great community. Power stays strong. And if we go to the all here, this is a fairly new coin, and usually a lot of new coins, they just pump right off the get-go and then they die and they don't really have life afterwards. But we are seeing it's still a very, very young project and coin. I don't really know what it's all about. Maybe it's something I should take a look at, but it seems to be recovering here, especially right after this recent hard fork. All right, guys, so that does wrap this up. Thanks for checking it out. And if there's something I missed, or, you know, some good details on kylacoin or anything about these miners that you want other people to know, let me know down in the comment section before. As well, with the future updates and profitabilities and stuff that's coming, I'm going to have to retest kylacoin again once we get this all optimized with the latest versions of these miners. Regardless, hope this helped you in updating your E300 firmware, as well as possibly switching over to kylacoin or looking at the other options available for these FPGAs. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out. All right, so I lied. Looks like I have to update again. Regardless, you guys know how to update at this point, but they just recently released this version when I was done my video just now, about 20 minutes ago or so. It looks like N2.0.2 is now released with the latest version of the K1 miner, which does have the tweaking performance in it as well. Some more things to point out is they did message me here, or point me out here, that you have to change your clocks a little bit. So if you're running a core clock of 600, you're going to have to move up to 620 to 640. If you're running 700, move your voltage up to 720 to 740. In this case, I was running 700, but I was only using 650. So now we're actually going to have to increase their voltages, which could cause more power usage. So I'm going to have to retest the whole kylacoin algorithm over again and just see what the power at the wall and stuff is kind of looking like. But here's what they're kind of guessing here. So it's looking like we're going to have to go 20 to 40 millivolts over what we set our core speed to. So keep that in mind, but I'm going to update this now and kind of see what things look like. Another thing I want to point out, if you didn't read it earlier, and depending when you're seeing this video, you may just be able to auto update this because this is prior to the day of release. But when this video does release, it's going to be released officially on July 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At that point, all you'll have to do after that, once it's released, is click this little box and it will auto update the firmware all by itself, and you won't have to go through these manual steps. This is only if you want to do it early. All right, so I am now on the latest version of the firmware. I'm going to go to my status here, and I guess I'm going to, it's still at 650. I am running, I just got to go back to miner here to double check. So I'm running 700, so I am going to run, I guess, we're going to go to 740 here and just kind of see if it stays stable or not. But there we go, 740. I'm going to hit the F5 a couple times to make sure it went through. So 730, yeah, we're definitely running at 740 on the voltages now. Go into my miner. Everything's looking correct here. I'm going to hit the start button and we will now begin mining. We're using the latest version of the miner as well as the latest firmware. So it's a pretty simple process to get everything updated and ready to go. So I'm going to go to my miner logs. It's beginning to start its stuff. It's programming the bit stream and everything. Everything's looking good. So now that's officially it. The absolute latest updates are now here. So update your E300s, have the latest miner version for kylacoin, and you should be good to go. Remember, you got to up those voltages a little more than the previous versions.